Welcome back to another Wargame video. I haven't posted one of these in a long time. I know I said I would be posting live, not live, but recordings of as I play, but I just never got around to it. Hopefully I will rectify that. So, going to just post this one because I enjoyed this game a lot. It was a very close match. Let's get going. So in this, I have an Elite Sea Eagle, which I no longer have in my deck anymore. Because it's alright, it's an okay ASF, but it's just better to have a backup in most cases. Same thing with like your super heavies. Instead of buying an elite one, you buy the lower tier ones so you can get multiple units in one card. So I'm sending this out so I can see if there's any helicopters, but because of the stealth value on the Tiger, which is rated good, I don't detect him. This is just a holding force right here. This scout watching this force line. Then this infantry is protecting this right over here. So this is interesting. My Eagle goes in. Usually I've had a lot of success with the Eagle versus helicopters. So it doesn't get a direct hit. It was like a proximity hit because had it been direct it would have hit with 5, but only took it down to 4. So that was kind of interesting. Usually 2 Stingers will shoot down a plane, but it hits again, so I have to evac at that. It's another reason, like, you know, I almost lost my ASF to a freaking helicopter. I'm pretty lucky. So I've landed some Marines to take this town. Right now on my deck I have some Riflemen, SMAW, and Marines. This is one of those times that I kind of wish I had some light riflemen for their ATGMs. You'll see why. So he's bought his own ASF. Pretty effective. His KWSs are just lethal. Fired off an AMRAM at my Eagle, but fortunately got out. So this is what I mean by wishing I had light riflemen, because his vehicles are providing good support. You have the heavy gun up from this Martyr 2, which is just beastly. So he has a good grasp of the ranges. These vehicles are sitting just outside the range of the AT4. However, I'm not really trying to hold this. This is more of a delaying tactic. Had I not had these guys in here, he could have driven these VABs all into my 2-pointer, and I'd be the one scrambling to hold or to push him out of my 2-pointer, which you definitely don't want. Speed up a little bit. So see, all this fire support is just wrecking my Marines, which would normally take his Hans Grenadier apart because they're out in the open. Looks like he's going to repair his Tiger. There, coming up. And now these Marines being heavily damaged won't last long against that 8-man team. Chasseurs are crawling on the open, but they still have the fire support from the auto cannon with these VADs. Which forces me to retreat my infantry, and I don't really have anything to deal with it. Again, nice to have some light riflemen. Now he has 2 ASF planes. I think in most engagements my elite, well he's an elite too, but I think my C will be able to take either one of those in a one-on-one engagement. Most of the time. So RNG can obviously fuck you, but most of the time that I found that to be the case. So I spot his Tiger, I move my DAPs up, and don't pay attention to them. I probably would have been able to save both of them had I. But yeah, I'm going with both of them here. One IP is taking on his Commando's Para. I should have kept him engaged because he just can't cause enough damage to those. But then my M113A3 is going to take care of him. The helicopter support and then the fire support, he easily wipes out my small team. Trying to provide some support to my riflemen here since they're all alone, but that Tiger is just wrecking my tank. And rear shot, auto cannon to death. It's going a little bit. He doesn't seem see my EU coming and doesn't attack, but it doesn't matter because the Tiger and the Mistral take my Seagull down now. I am without an ASF. Desperately trying to hold on to my piece of Delta so I don't get pushed out completely. Two stack of Pens and Grenadiers just overwhelming by Marines, even though these are basically damaged. They were still both Comet and causing them to be panicked. So I'm basically right now I'm not able to keep up with his wheeled vehicles because he's. I thought those were going to be well. But he is able to get his units into these points faster than me. Though his base infantry is being transported by a comparable transport. Yeah, it's the same thing. So I'm bringing a mortar up, some CSs up, and a CUV. Let's see if he's... My plan right here is to get some Rangers into this building. Having some small come up, and I have a decent force right here. Just demolish that brick. My Avenger shoots down one of his Tigers, so he buys another one. Repeating the same mistake here. I should have brought these rifles back. Came with the same version. Fortunately, my mortars do a lot of work. Bring that squad down to a more manageable level. I forget about my Rangers, and they're out in the open still. I see the Tiger coming in, so I'm relocating my Avenger. CS doing a lot of work. Heavily damaged the squad. Now my M1IP and the M113A3. If they engage them. scout I put here is destroyed. So it was nice to have something watching this road and a little bit close to here just in case somebody tries to run a scout along the riverbank. Wrecks the squad, and Leopard 2A1 is going to tear my CS and CV apart, but so this is a 100-point tank, has 18 AP and 16 front armor compared to this, my M1 AP, which has 15 AP and 17 armor, so outclasses it completely. Well, I mean, I guess it does. My M1 IP has bare armor, so that does help. And when it engages, gets the first hit and knocks it down to 4 HP. I back that off, bring this up, then start bringing it back up because I know it's going to take a shot on that transport, and I destroy it. So that's a good kill for me. His Leopard 2A1 got engaged by my M1A1HC. It also damaged my M1 IP, which is why I brought this up. Did a lot of damage to it and bringing in a resupply. He's ticking at +2. I've bought a CV to stop that. So now things are pretty equal, except for this. I don't have any foothold in the last remaining uncontested point. And he's bought a CV, so he's going to start ticking soon. And with roughly 20 minutes left, that means he can put roughly nearly 300 points on the board, or nearly 300 points on the board before the game ends. Basically 150 points every 10 minutes. Ideally, you'd want to at least tie so you can make some smarter plays. It's another case of, not always afraid that your enemy has like a army in the trees. I should have pushed up the Rangers or sacrificed a couple of the Humvees, moved them up with support of the Abrams, and taken this piece of force back. Though he does have a Leclerc there, so might not have played in my favor. I see his supply come in. It's already empty, but I didn't know that at the time. I just was looking at interrupting his repair or resupply of whatever unit. I thought maybe, at the time I didn't know I had destroyed his tank, so I thought he was repairing it. What we missed is the second Paw Tiger he bought. Got destroyed by the same Avenger that got the first one. I brought it down over here, brought it up here, and his Tiger was sitting right there, and it was able to kill it. So definitely a huge kill for me. Those Tigers are a pain in the ass. So. bringing up a command so I can stop the bleed. Get my small a little too close, they take a couple hits. And I've stopped the bleed. He's pushing in with 2 tanks, and I don't have a whole lot. My mistake right here is all my riflemen, all my defenses are pretty much in the same area that the CV is. And so when it starts seeing this other stuff, it's going to see the CV, and the automatic targeting will always target a CV first. Get side shot by my SMA, so that's a pretty nice decent kill. This 285 gets engaged by my HC. The CS is putting a lot of fire on it. But it probably, I think it may have won that fight, possibly. Man, those CSs are just amazing. That Dylan with infantry, and they just chew them up. Should have kept these back here, put them at the back of the line over here. So, CS stuns the transports. And then the HC and the CS take the infantry down. But he's still taking a +1, so it's good, but it's not where I need to be. And he still has a formidable presence in the town. Legion 90, hard to dislodge because they can pretty much shoot any fire support. CS up, they destroy one of the fire support, not the best one to go after. Misses. Trying to move these these 3 infantry squads up, but they're panicked, so they're running really slow. No support to these guys. Wasn't sure how much he had in the town, so he's pushing these 2 squads up to see if they could get a foothold. The Ranger squad that was caught on the open, they managed to survive and ran back here. Now they're just watching this pass. So I've managed to get my my Kiowa over behind him. This is why you always want to defend your 2-pointers. See, I have a couple CSs here, and I've made the same mistake, really. But now I can see it. And I've decapped that, so now I'm at the +1. At this rate, if I were to stay at +1, I would reach 195 points to his 132. So I've decided to change my focus. I have reinforcements coming in here, but I'm now going to push up with what I have right here. And it's working pretty well. He doesn't have a very good defense here. He's not microing any of this stuff. He should have had his ATGM shoot at my inlet. So I have a decent presence of this tree, this forest right here. I know he still has a tank, so I'm moving my rangers and my riflemen over. Should have retreated my rangers and let the riflemen soak up some of the damage. And one comes in. Again, that was another 100-point tank, but yeah, he was facing off against infantry squads too. I see this Tiger. Fortunately, it's the air-to-air one. It has rocket pods, but they're not too much of a threat to my tanks. So I'm fast moving my Avenger and buying a Hawk. I no longer have the Hawk in my deck. Instead, I have a Patriot, a bedded Patriot, the Chaparrals, and the Avengers. I like the Avengers. They're a fun unit. They aren't the best AA piece, but they're fast and pretty sneaky in my opinion, as far as they're being able to move them around quickly is what enabled me to shoot down that second Tiger. So he's now back at his +1. And now with only 7 minutes on the board, this is definitely not looking good for me. He has pretty solid control. I'm kind of stopped here. He has 2 super heavies in this forest and a good amount of infantry. For some reason, he moves up his toe to ATGM carrier to hit my M1 IP, but usually in a battle like that, the tank will win because this round can hit the ATGM carrier before the ATGM can. I don't notice this attack coming up, so he just basically melts my Marines. Caught these guys out in the open, so that's good. Whenever I'm on this side, or this map in general, I always worry about this push. It's so easy to get focused on this conflict over here that you just miss. Over here, I'm kind of cheesing out a little bit. I mean, it's not ridiculous, because you should protect your spawn. I mean, if these would have had infantry in it, that'd been fantastic. So it's not a heli rush. I mean, it's 2 transport helicopters. Had he had any infantry in here or any vehicles, that would have gone a long way to stopping me from getting in here. Unfortunately, I don't have any infantry in them. Otherwise, that'd be great to land them. Put 1 squad right here to get things spawning in, and another to go CV hunting. So I'm getting moving my CV up, getting my infantry holding on to this forest. Got some reinforcements coming in. My Hawk shoots down his AA Tiger. My M1 gets side shot by the Fralzenegger. I should have retreated that because, man, those Fralzenegger just are more than a match for those M1 IPs. And this is basically stagnated. I think he's more concerned about what's going on over here, since I'm now at +1. Avengers coming up again. This Tiger's throwing down a lot of support, hitting my infantry. And my Tiger gets, my Avenger gets within range, gets off 2 missiles before the first ATGM can even make it, shoots it down. Bring in the Strike Eagle. Try and clear out this infantry, and I end up getting the CV. Now I'm at +3. I believe if my math is accurate, is like what? 1 point is like 15 points per minute. So the +3 is 45 points per minute. My Hawk hits his ASF, bringing in some Marines. And that was a fortunate hit, taking his ASF out of the picture. I'm also bringing in multiple helicopters. So I have this group here, this group landing here. His Super Heavy's attacking. I don't really have anything to deal with it. I mean, at least up here. But I do have an ATGM Harrier. I took this out of my deck. It was a fun unit to play with, but these Mavericks aren't fire and forget. And they're the same AP as the one on the Hornets, but the Hornet has fire and forget ones, and has 4 of them instead of the 2 here. The only downside to the Hornet is, in order to get 2, you have to take them at trained, whereas the Harriers, you can get 2 at hardened. Takes out his cleric, and now I have a very commanding control over his 2-pointer. There's not a whole lot he could do over here. I mean, if he was able to get command in here, bring it back to a +1, but which would probably give him a draw, the ability to get a draw at how close we are. I hate draws. There's just no reason for him in this game. Like, if you draw, if it's within the draw bracket, who wins should be decided by the kill to death, kill to losses ratio. And that's it. I win with an actually pretty decent kill to losses ratio. The battle on the other side had stalled, and I just wasn't making any progress. Had I continued that, I definitely would not have won. So I switched gears, went over to and took his 2-pointer. It worked out pretty well. I mean, I'm not saying that that strategy would always work, because he had maybe a good AA piece over there to deal with my Kiowas, or and another tank, he probably could have stopped that. Maybe used some bombers, also would have been pretty huge. So anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will try and put some videos out when I'm actually playing the game.